Good evening, everyone. Welcome. My name is Andrew, otherwise known as the God of Myth, and I am here with an unboxing for the Kickstarter of Dragon Dice by SFR Inc., and I have a very special guest with me tonight, the president of SFR Inc., Mr. D. Scott. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Well, not bad at all. Just glad that we've got all our Amazons out.
Yes. Yes, the time has finally come. Everybody is getting their fulfillments. Everyone's got their Amazons in hand, and we're ready to start opening it up and seeing what everyone is getting. I'm definitely loving all the hype for what everyone's been posting in the Facebook groups and in the Discord, the community Discord. So, absolutely fantastic. D-Scott is quiet. Let's see if we can bump his volume up a little bit. Okay, user volume. Let's bump him up to 100 and let's try 200%. How are we right now?
How does that work out?
All right, can you guys hear Mr. D. Scott O'Brien? How are we doing? How's that work, Dolus? Good? All right, cool.
Well, no, I do have to clarify something. Not everybody has their Amazons in hand. Unfortunately, our overseas backers are going to have to wait a little longer due to the
shipping delays.
They have to go. Yep. So most of the domestic backers should have their stuff within the next day or so. Beyond that, our poor friends overseas might have to wait into next week or so.
Okay. Yeah, that's from what I understand, that's a common thing. I've got a couple of Kickstarters myself that are from overseas, and it's taking us forever to get our stuff. So it's natural that one is going to be harder to get to the other when domestic versus overseas. So I think that's a sentiment shared by a lot of people.
Yeah, it doesn't do much for international relations when you've got all these people in England, in Australia, and everywhere else seeing Facebook players community spammed with everybody's folders, and they're like, "Where's mine?
Where's my stuff? I'm seeing everybody get it, but where's my stuff?" It's like I can't do anything. I can't do anything about it. It's on its way. We're trying, but there's only so much you can do.
For all of our international backers, I hope that the wait was worth it. I know, and everybody who's backed, it really has been. I mean, the word is used quite often, but it fits. It's been an unprecedented past year. So
sure. So one thing I want to get started off with, and one of the questions that I thought would be really cool to hear. I don't know how much information you might have about this, but for the Amazons, do you have, being also part historian, can you do you have any insight into Amazons in TSR era? Like what? I don't know if you've talked with Lester about this at all. How did the Amazons become part of the discussion for the next faction, so to speak, for Dragon Dice? And I mean, there's obviously the whole debacle with the Amazons and Monsters Kickers, and how they roped that into that multi-box.
Well, what happened is there was some discussion. People at TSR felt that by putting the Amazons in the starter, it was too much in one product.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were initially planned out at roughly the same time.
Sure.
But it was decided to back in '95. They had a game plan for going forward for just about all the kickers from based off of Lester Smith's Dragon Dice Bible. And it was sort of agreed upon that by putting 5 species in one starter,
Sure.
was just too large a span of products.
For the basic 4.
So, yeah, so they put in the lava elves, coral elves, goblins, and
The dwarves. Yep.
And left out the Amazons, and the monsters were meant to fill out that first Monsters and Amazons kicker.
Okay.
It was really a marketing decision at that point. They didn't want to make it too difficult to collect everything, because with the monsters being that there were only 4 monsters, and there was one rare, hard to get monster in each. I mean, as is with the monsters in Amazons, you're getting a 2.5 percent rarity. So there was a 2.5% chance of pulling a given rare monster, and that with a $9.95 up to a $12.95 MSRP, it was, at that point, that was a little bit pushing it as far as
Sure.
What could feasibly people were feasibly willing to spend.
Sure. Yeah. And wasn't there a bit of a debacle I heard with the distribution? Like, what was? I thought I heard a rumor that overseas only got like rares or non-rares or something like this. The 3-pointers.
That is not a rumor. That actually happened.
Oh no!
When TSR ordered the Amazons, their work order was 2/3 of the Amazons would contain uncommon Amazons.
Okay.
And 1/3 of that 100 or so thousand kickers that they ordered, 1/3 of it would contain the rares. Now, because the dice are printed in overseas in China.
Sure.
There was a communication error, and it was interpreted as, well, make the 2/3 of the Amazons with the uncommons and send them to the U.S., and the 1/3, the remaining 1/3 would go to TSR UK for distribution in Europe, Asia, etc. So everybody in the United States was pulling uncommon Amazons, and very few rare Amazons.
Oh no!
Now, back then, your only real method of communication through the internet was AOL. And I remember that there was a huge trading circle in the old Amazon or AOL message boards for rare and uncommon Amazons.
Sure.
Because everybody in the UK is like, hey, these aren't very rare. That's all I'm getting.
Yeah, no kidding. So in our first kicker, we got a Medusa. So I know this has been a topic of discussion. A lot of people have been saying there's been a shortage, or at least a little bit of a distribution weird. Oh, Bagel Top Games, thank you very much for that raid. Thank you. And thank you. Welcome to the stream. Bacon Bagel standing by. Bagel raid. Oh, jeez. Thank you very much for that raid. Hopefully you had a good stream, and everyone coming in, thank you very much for joining. My name is the God of Myth. I am doing a Dragon Dice Kickstarter unboxing, and I have with me the president of SFR with me today, Mr. D. Scott. So welcome, everyone. This is a collectible dice game? Yes, it is, JT Drop. It very much so is a collectible dice game. Anyone bring a salt bagel? Well, thank you everyone for joining the channel. Thank you very much.
I didn't bring any bagels. I'm living in Pittsburgh, and I can't get a good bagel to save my life out here.
So we have in our first kicker we got a Medusa, which seems to be a bit of a hot topic discussion in the Facebook page because a lot of people have been getting kind of shafted on opening up Medusas. And it seems the distribution's a little off. They're getting the desirable Chimera and Nightmare, but no Medusas, which is kind of weird.
That's the
random
on the probability curve. Yeah.
Oh. All right. Ooh, our second kicker has a Chimera, so we hit our first Chimera. That's one of the ones we're definitely looking for because I have no Chimeras. My dad has. I think he's got a Chimera for sure. From the original print run, and then our 3-pointer was the Spearer.
Do you have any of the originals there, Andrew?
I have some. Let me see if I can get them out without knocking stuff over here on my side. And of course I knocked things over. Because that's just how it goes. Alright. So these are some of the originals that I have.
Compare the paint.
Yep. So this is an original one that we have right here. Let's see if I can get that up. It's probably not going to focus very well. And then let's take a look at the new Spearer. So as you can see, everyone, there is a little bit of a ink difference. It is a little bit brighter than the original purple. But that's just how it goes. Oh, thank you very much, Bageltop Games. Thank you. Oh, and thank you very much for that follow. Sorry, I missed that. But yeah, there is a little bit of a paint color difference, so that happens with anything that's like paint and whatnot.
Yeah,
when you're getting a new print run.
The collectors look for that.
Oh yeah, collectors love looking for reasons to collect new lines and whatnot. Reminds you of Dice Masters? Kind of. I mean, Dice Masters is a little different because you have cards and everything representing your heroes and whatnot. Each one of these dice represents a different unit in your army. Ollie. I knocked over a monster.
Well, you gotta run away.
Well, that was the Chimera that was trying to run away from me.
Yeah, he didn't want you to have. He's trying to come over to my place. That's probably what it is.
You got plenty of Chimeras, from what I understand. Monsters get mad if you knock them over.
Yeah.
What's your total count now? I'm just out of curiosity.
I think I'm up to 13 Chimeras and 10 Nightmares.
Okay. Well, speaking of Nightmares, I already see what's in this based on one of the icons, so I already know we got a Nightmare out of this one. Now, this one, let's talk a little bit about the Nightmare, because this was not an original one. No, come on. There it is. There's the icon for the Nightmare. This was not an original monster. This is something that SFR added after you acquired it from TSR. Or from WotC or Hasbro, correct, I should say. So, what was what happened as far as taking place in order to create the fifth monster for the original 5?
Well, back when TSR was producing the dice, they hinted at a 5th monster. Mm-hmm. In the Dice Commander's Manual, there were bits of lore for each species, and they had hinted at the elusive 5th monster back then. Whether or not they ever had forward-looking plans enough to have the icons drawn out is unknown. But when the Firewalkers came out, that started the whole 5 monsters per species. So they had every intention of having 5 monsters, but I guess it was never that forward on the drawing board to have, because nobody seems to have any of the icons for the original 5 species 5th monsters. When SFR purchased the IP from Hasbro Wizards of the Coast, they had the intention of doing the 5th monsters, but they needed to raise capital for that. So SFR used the existing molds that they had for the Dragon Slayers and Hunters, which originally were available in the Dragon Slayer was available in the Cast of Fate novel, and they produced the 5 elemental colors for the Dragon Hunters.
Sure.
And that was done to raise capital. And their first step in getting enough capital to do the 5th monster mold was then they went ahead and produced the Tree Folk, which was the only race that TSR WotC Hasbro hadn't produced. They had plans for it. They had a very rudimentary idea of what Tree Folk would do. They had some of the icons developed, but it never went anywhere because it fly out.
Okay.
So SFR, they produced the Tree Folk, and that started the whole ball rolling to get the 5th monsters produced. They were produced in 2011, 2012, and 2013. 2013 was when the Nightmare was first released.
Okay. Now, did that coincide with the release of the other monsters for Coral Elves, Lava Elves, Dwarves, and Goblins?
Out of the 5th or the 5 original races, 2 had original or 5th monsters produced in 2011. 2 were in 2012.
Okay.
And Amazon 2000.
So it was a gradual process.
Yes. I mean, it's kind of expensive to kick out those molds.
Yeah.
One species being re-released sort of supported the other one to get the other molds made, is how it worked.
Sure. I think this is our first War Driver. Some consider it to be one of the best maneuverable dice in the game.
Yeah, with 2 tramples.
Yeah. It's really, really good. And I think this is my
tramples
first.
are always fun.
And then I think this is our first Hydra. So I think I've hit every monster under the sun except for the Centaur.
Yeah,
and in case
still got time.
And in case anyone is wondering, this is 12 kickers in front of me. I have another 12 in the box, as well as a ton of other stuff to open. So we've got a lot to open here. Yes, Imka Bongers. I'm sorry, I'm probably gonna butcher your name, but this is a collectible dice game. It is a army-based game. Each one of the dice that I am opening that's in these kickers represents a unit in an army. And you pitch your units against your an opponent. An opponent's army. Ooh, I think that's another nightmare. So that's 2 nightmares. So we'll have to once we've opened up everything, we'll have to talk about ratios and how how well we did. Hey, that's our first war chief. Yeah, war chief.
Yeah, the only male Amazon in the species.
Yep.
Got to get baby Amazon somehow, and I don't know how he has enough time to fight when he's the only male in the lot.
Yep. So JT Drop just asked, is there an ETA for this to hit store shelves? So this game came back out in the 90s, and SFR picked it up from Hasbro way back. Now, one of the things that it's not readily available in stores right now. I've been trying to get stores here locally for us to carry it, but there's a couple of stigmas that we're trying to hurdle here.
Overcome. Yeah, we're trying to overcome a lot of the missteps that were perpetrated by TSR.
Yeah.
And it is a long, slow process because a lot of brick and mortar stores tend to use Board Game Geek as a barometer for the popularity of a game. And, you know, a lot of people had a very negative perception of Dragon Dice due to some of TSR's missteps. And that reflected on the Board Game Geek reviews. So we've recently, or we're starting to build a brand new rating page for Dragon Dice 4.01 rules through Board Game Geek to try to get those ratings from mediocre to something better. And, you know, I mean, as far as... I think we lost the stream there.
Nope. I'm trying to fix my camera. It's
it locked up. Yeah. You know, a lot of what we're trying to do can be helped by every player that has an interest in the game. Go to your local store, give them the website, and have them open up an account, a retailer's account, and order directly from us. Get it in the store. So, and on open game nights, you sit at a table and throw dice around.
Yep.
You know, it needs to be a very grassroots effort. That's the only way that we. That's
the big thing. And I've attempted several times to get local stores into it, but it's definitely a challenge.
Yes, we're fighting an uphill battle. We're fighting the entire internet community of the past to try to.
One of the bigger issues too is distribution, because a lot of stores look at distributors and don't necessarily think about going direct from a company either.
And the distributors, unfortunately, everybody is vying for space and distributorship.
Yep.
If the distributors think that they're not going to make money by carrying the dice, you know, they're gonna take that space and use it for Gloomhaven or any of the other
bigger
games out there. And again, they go by, a lot of them will go by past experience, which was, you know, less than stellar. You know,
JT Drop, if you do !support in chat, there should be a link. There might be a delay on the Streamlabs bot. Oh, there it is. There it goes. You go to that website. There should be a link in there somewheres to on their website to the store. Another Medusa. I'm still short a Centaur in the first 12. I'm glad I got 2 cases.
Well, if you need Centaurs, I have a boatload. I should say I have a stable full, I guess.
Yes, there is another Kickstarter which I will be going over at the end of the towards the end of the stream with everybody. Oh, I found the Centaur. There we go. Third from the last. All right, there's.
Wouldn't that be? Wouldn't it be more appropriate to say, "Hey, I found a Centaur"?
Maybe if it was a nightmare. Maybe.
No, no. Finding the nightmare is something you dream about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've gotten, out of 12 kickers, I've gotten 2 nightmares and 2 chimeras, so we're definitely, out of one case, we've definitely beaten all of the odds of pulling stuff.
Yeah.
Because the ratios
On
are...
average.
Well, the average is what? 8 and 6 and 8?
It's 10% for the chimera.
Okay.
15% for the nightmare and 25% for the centaur, medusa, and hydra.
Okay.
So you're definitely above the probability curve with that.
Well, I found my second centaur, so we're definitely there. I see wings on this one. This is gonna be another chimera. So 3 chimeras and 2 nightmares in one case. So that's pretty good, I would say, for distribution.
I know a lot of players gonna hate you.
Probably. I at least have another chimera, an extra chimera I can give to my dad, because he didn't open any chimeras. He opened 3 nightmares, though, out of 6 kickers.
Wow.
Out of 6 kickers, he opened 3 nightmares, 2 centaur, and a medusa. No, I'm sorry. Not a he had... it was 2 centaur, and a, not a medusa, but a hydra. I always forget about the hydra, because when I think of hydra, I think of the cryo hydra from, Frostwings. Yep. Hail Hydra. Yep, I definitely made that a little strong tonight. Alright.
Nothing wrong with that.
When I started pouring the aviation, I was like, oh man, looks like I poured it a little strong. A little more than the 2-finger rule. Alright.
I like my gin at a half and half ratio.
A half and half, ooh. Definitely go a little bit stronger. Alright, this is something that we all wanted to talk about. Some people may or may not have seen this with their Kickstarters, but we have a replacement Meyer card. Now, the focus is going to be killing me on this one. Cast 5 mana, or no. Yeah, 5 mana.
Mana. No, magic.
Magic, sorry.
Mana's mana is from the game that must not be named on the Dragon Dice forums.
Hey, Cliff! Cliff made it in! So magic. 5 magic casts Meyer. Now, this is a Swamp Stalker spell. Target a terrain until the beginning of your next turn. Any army marching at the terrain must first make a maneuver roll. Marching player then selects the health worth of units equal to the maneuver results generated by the first roll. Army uses only those units and items they carry for any rolls in the march for both the maneuver step and the action step. Now, for anyone who was in the previous Kickstarter that got the deck of cards for the spells, this is a replacement for the Meyer spell that's in that deck, because there was a rules change to it, and SFR was nice enough to include a replacement card in your Kickstarter if you backed the Amazons. Or you can get it from the website afterwards. Yes, thank you, Billy. I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar. What exactly was the change?
I would have to get the card.
Let me see if I.
1 second. If you have the old spell deck, I don't have it handy.
I gotta open up.
Caught me off guard with that one.
I'm trying to find my spell deck. There it is. All right, let's see if I can find it in here. Thank you for the follow, A. Kingsley. Thank you very much. All right, let's see if I can find it. New rules: count the maneuver results and choose that health of units to act. The old Meyer, the units who rolled maneuver could act. Oh, okay. So here it is. Targeted. Oh, geez, the paragraph got much bigger. Wow. Until the beginning of your next turn, any army wishing to march at that terrain must first make a roll. At the beginning of your next turn, any army marching that terrain must first make a maneuver roll. Any unit that does not roll a maneuver result may not be... Wow, that's a huge paragraph replacement. So we'll set that aside and we'll put this replacement card in there. I still love this. I still love this card, though. That came in my spell deck.
Yeah, that was a bit of a printer error there.
I'm fine with it. I love this. The fact that it's misprinted like this. That's awesome. And it's only on the front, too. The back is normal. Like, I love that.
I don't think I've seen one of those. I'll have to check my spell decks. I'm a big collector of oddities and variants, and for anybody who doesn't know.
Yeah, it's the white border on a summon white dragon. I know. That's what makes it even more hilarious. All right, let's take a look. So before we open, I'm gonna do some other openings here first before we even get to the second case of Amazons. We're gonna open up some of the specialty items here because I have a stack of alternate inks here, and I have this magnificent 25th anniversary because it wasn't this year, it was last year, correct?
Yep, the Kickstarter was planned out. We started planning it out in 2018 or 2019, excuse me, for release in 2020 at Dragon Dice's 25th anniversary.
I really like this. The texture on the tin is really nice.
The tin didn't turn out the way we wanted to because of the size of the anniversary dice. We weren't able to get a tin that would accommodate that size, so we had to go with something a little different.
Okay. Now, this is interesting. So here's my elemental relic. This is a brand new die from SFR Inc. That was a special die for the Kickstarter. The Relic. And I've seen what this thing can do. It is insane. This thing is really awesome. I will say, though, a couple sides here feel more pressed in than the others.
Yeah, there was some shrinkage of the plastic, and there's some concave. Unfortunately, that's not.
I heard there.
Totally unexpected.
I heard there were some issues with production. What exactly happened? Or do you have any insight into that? That you can share. that I should say that that you can share.
Well, we placed the initial order back in 2019 to have we had the anniversary dice planned out and the Relic, the new with the 25th anniversary logo, and then COVID hit.
Sure.
And the person who owned the factory actually came down with COVID-19. So he was incommunicado for a while, and then they had all the lockdowns overseas and in this country as well. And that lack of communication persisted. We were trying in vain to get in contact with them so they could we see what the status of the order was.
Sure.
And nothing. Come to find out, while they were promising to do our order and accepting our work orders and that, they were under their country's equivalency of bankruptcy.
Sure.
So the company basically closed up shop, and during this whole administration process, they moved their entire operations to another country, and didn't tell anybody that all this was happening. Probably 9 months later, we were finally, we were making plans to use another producer. And, as one last ditch effort, we tried to contact them and were able to get in touch. And then they accepted the work order and started producing the dice.
At least,
I mean, it was a long process.
Sure.
And, there was a lot of hair pulling, and
I can imagine
curtains behind the scenes.
Sure. At least we were able to find a replacement manufacturer. That's the big thing, because without that just would have been.
It's technically the same company.
Oh, it is.
Moved. Yes. It was. While he was under administration, as a preemptive move, he took all of the molds and all the machinery and moved it to Bulgaria.
Sure.
And then resumed production there. So it's the same company. It's just there's different people running the factory. So we're
sure.
hoping it's only a learning curve. But if you notice that on the Red Dragon Masters, I believe
I see it on the cantrip, yeah.
The sneak attacks are on the opposite sides.
Yeah.
And they also produced 2 variants. The fly icon was rotated 180 degrees, which is something that we were stressing. Please don't do this.
Oh no.
So we're hoping it's only a learning curve, and if we do anything with in the future, that it'll be a little bit more consistent.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. No, definitely. So I have one of every monster plus my random, which was a Hydra. I have one of every 3-pointer. I have 2 of every 2-pointer. And then I've got 4 of every 1-pointer. And then my extra 3-pointer was the War Chief. I've got, I believe that's the light melee unit for the 2-pointer, and then I have the small little Javelineer for the missile unit for the Alt Inc. Those were my randoms.
Now I don't think you bought enough of the Alt Inc. monsters myself.
No, probably not. As long as I get one set, I'm usually pretty happy. I haven't gotten to the point where I am expanding. My goal right now is to have 2 of every monster, 2 of every 3-pointer, 4 of every 2-pointer, and 8 of every 1-pointer. After that, then I'll be expanding. Once I've completed those numbers, then I'll be bumping it up.
That's what we like to hear. Yeah, you need at least between 12 and 24 health of each unit. That's how it works.
Yes. No, absolutely. All right, let's open up this big deck box, because this is a veritable treasure trove of abilities. Now these, because last Kickstarter we did the spells. Now this go around we have the abilities and effect cards. And I love the white stone on these as a contrast to the spell cards, which had the black stone on them.
It makes it easy to tell which is which.
Oh, that's really nice too. You also did the size, the special action icons. That's so crazy how there are so many different icons for Fly.
Yeah. Yep.
These are really nice. No, I definitely appreciate these for sure. It's amazing too how many different variants there are for, or rules for what you can roll on the SFR icon or TSR icons.
No, a lot of it is dependent on which class of Eldarin you're rolling, or
That is one group that I have not invested in at all yet, outside of the champions, the hunters, the big dice. That is
the
some
Eldarin expansion.
Yeah, I have not gotten any Eldarim expansions.
That's a tough one to collect because
The multicolor.
Yeah, they're single element units, and there's a lot of them.
All right,
I remember it.
These monsters. We're about to have some real fun here. So these, for people that are watching that may not be familiar with what these are, when I saw that these were on sale at the store, I could not pass these up. I got one of each, and I can already smell it through the wrapper. These are the original battle mats.
The come off.
These are the original battle mats. The first one we're opening is the one that a lot of people were wanting. That a lot of people were wanting to gobble up. This is the Goblin.
After 25 years, they still got it.
They still got it. And it comes with a little short story. Now, for the short stories that come in a lot of the old TSR product, do we know if these are going to be incorporated in the new fiction?
Yes, they already were.
Okay.
If I remember right, Cast of Fate by Alan Varney was rewritten by Christopher Schmidt, and he included a lot of the lore from the Dice Commander's Manual, plus the two novellas that were produced.
Okay. Oh, pack fresh, everyone. Oh, to the frontier. Reserves. Dead. The middle, we've got that beautiful home terrain. And then we have the buried. That's where your buried zone is. God, this takes me back to my childhood right here.
Yeah.
I remember 1990... I want to say it was like 97... when we were living in Rochester, New York, and playing at Millennium Games and Hobbies, and they were holding regular tournament events, and man, everyone had their battle mats.
Yeah, we've come a long way from those babies. I'll tell you that.
I can't wait, and I'm so excited to show what's coming up in the Kickstarter, because there's some new mats that I'm super excited. 97 doesn't count as being a child.
I agree.
Well, there's no point in being grown up if you can't act childish sometimes.
Say, I may grow old, but I refuse to grow up.
Aha, yes. Alright, so this is the Lava Elf one. So we've got Frontier, which is represented by the melee icon. And the magic icon, technically. We got our reserves, our camp, buried. And there's our dead unit area.
Billy the Kid, I guess the dice bags smell a little bit better than those mats did when you first opened them.
These aren't actually getting too bad. I mean, it helps that I have the window open, so I guess there's a little something. Heck, my age had never been this old before. Oh no. I might have to do a giveaway on some of these stories at some point. I've got plenty of them.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they had a different novella for each map.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like one for each of the different groups. Now the yellow one, this one was the dwarves?
Yellow and red is the dwarves,
Yep.
yes. If you'll notice, you've got the color
Yep, there's
of
the
elements
axes
from the different species.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you now. I should have just looked at the box. God, the artwork on these were fantastic.
Yep. Well, I mean, TSR never had a shortage of artists.
No.
I mean, they had, Zeb Cook. They had Zeb Cook on staff. Brahm was... they had amazing artists. That's one of the unfortunate thing is when TSR went out, a lot of that original artwork was found in dumpsters.
Sure. That's crazy to think about, that original artwork being in dumpsters. Alright, this one is the Coral Elves. It's like a Coral Elf warrior dead. The Frontier. Reserves. And then the Buried is like their coastline.
Burial at Sea.
Yep, Burial at Sea. It's fitting for them. Alright, now this is the one that's relevant to what we're unboxing today. Okay. This is the Amazons. Oh, that's beautiful. Ooh, I do notice this one is a little bit stinkier than the others. Reserves. Buried. Got the little mausoleum for the buried. The Frontier. And the Dead. Yeah, these are beautiful. These have definitely held up pretty well for being... how old are these?
25 years.
Wow.
It originally came out in 96.
It did come out in 96. Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yep. So you're the first person that's handled those in 25 years.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Oh, I bet I know why my camera is... Is it on auto? It should be... I bet it's trying to autofocus at some point. I'll fix that later. Alright. Rules. Show those mats in action? I might at some point. I might. We'll see. I've got a couple of local game stores that are open for open gameplay. We just have to have our masks on. So you might see those play mats come into play. But here is something that a lot of people have been asking for over the years. I remember Gen Con, everybody was asking, can we buy a hardcover book or any kind of book? Can we buy the book? And I remember trying to demo the game and having to convince people to go and download the PDF. There's a lot of people that love having a physical rulebook. A lot of people. So this is something really nice to see. This is really nice. I love the quality of the paper too.
Yeah, they did a good job with the printing on those.
Yeah, this feels really nice. Now I don't have to have a binder dedicated anymore to my Dragon Dice rules, I could just whip this out.
Either that or you don't have to carry a tablet around.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I printed it out and sleeved it up in like protector sleeves. So this is fantastic. This is absolutely amazing. And this also includes the Relic in it, correct? With the new FAQ, the 4.0.1.
Yep. Yeah, there should be a section on the Relic and.
Yep, Relic, page 61.
You beat me to it.
53, 60. We went past it.
And
There we go.
If you'll notice, there's a lot of space on that page. Hint, hint.
Haha. Oh, we'll get to that because I'm guessing there's something that's gonna fill this up at some point, and we'll get to that as soon as we're done here. Oh, but now we can move on to the final portion of our unboxing, the next 12, and see how we do. So we're already up 3 Chimeras and 2 Nightmares, because I honestly wasn't expecting to do that well. But then again, whoop, I'm dropping all my kickers here.
Well, there's been some feedback. People didn't expect to do as poorly as they did. So, you know, if you get any death threats,
I'm opening my kickers wrong.
You'll know why.
I mean, I hedged my bets pretty good by getting 2 cases, I think. So, but that first case was really skewed. That first case was really skewed.
No, it's just like back in the day. You had people pulling 3 Unseelie fairies from a case, and
yeah, no, that's just crazy. 3 Unseelies from a single case is just insane. You should see her open them.
Was it Gen Con of 2018?
It was 20. Yes, it was 2018 because that was my first year with SFR demoing.
Yep, and what happened is Cliff had gotten a bunch of Scalders from a distributor. They were the original run that SFR had done, and I think there was 4 or 5.
There was like there was like 6 from what I heard. I heard it was an absurd amount because
I know I pulled one.
Dan pulled one.
Dan pulled one.
Tyler pulled one.
Yep, I remember Tyler pulling one, but there was like.
That's actually the one that I have, because I bought it off of Tyler because he doesn't play Scalders, so he mainly plays Feral and Frosties. So I bought the Unseelie off of him. There's not so many, Dolus. There's only 3 Chimeras so far. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 10 kickers left. 3 Chimeras, 2 Nightmares, and that's not counting the Alt Inks. I only got 1 Alt Ink Chimera and 1 Alt Ink Nightmare. So technically 4 and 3. But that was fixed, so
I'm just wondering if when I pass away, all of my unopened product, how many Unseelies are sitting in there?
Well, that's the thing. How many unopened Scalders boxes do you have?
I have 1 TSR unopened, and I'm up to the 4 different variants for the SFR Scalders.
So you technically have 5.
Yeah.
So you've got 5 unopened. What's your Frostwings count?
The 1 TSR and right now 2 of the SFRs, the 2 SFR variant boxes.
And we've got
Amazons, there's 2 unopened.
Okay.
And the rest are just the single boxes for each.
Sure. Sure. So we've gotten a couple of Medusa and a couple of... So let's see. These are the chimeras that I have. So there should only be 3 and 2 here. So let's bring these guys to the front. And then the 2 nightmares. Where's the icons? Because I don't think... Yeah, that's a Medusa. That's a Hydra. Yep, so those are the ones that we've pulled so far. Oh, there's another Chimera, so we're up to 4 Chimeras out of 2 cases.
Yeah, right now I can't read the name. The green is a little bit hard to read, but you're saying you have
Ostadan.
the Kickstarter. Right now, we do have the game set on Tabletopia. I mean, I know it's not the same thing as rolling dice, but you can always go on to Tabletopia and play a game there.
Yep. I know some modders have scripted Dragon Dice into Tabletop Simulator as well, for anyone that owns Tabletop Simulator. I personally love the mods for that myself, because you can actually pick it up and roll and throw the dice. So at least you get that tactile feeling of, oh, I'm actually throwing the dice. But that's me though. So, but that's for anyone who owns Tabletop Simulator. But if you don't own Tabletop Simulator and you don't have the money for it, Tabletopia is an alternative. Okay. So we're up to 4 Chimeras and still at 2 Nightmares. Oh, that was a Hydra that jumped out of the bag. And this is one thing that has always bothered me about the 3-point mage. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I want my 4th cantrip. I miss having that 4th cantrip. But on the flip side, it does have a lot of icons.
That and the Firewalker mage had 3.
Yeah. Oh, there's our 3rd nightmare.
There you go. Somebody said to up those nightmares. There you go.
Yep, there's our 3rd one. I gotta check, because I might only have 1. I gotta check my 3-pointers, because I don't know if I have that many war chiefs. I think I might only have 1.
During the initial run of SFR Amazons, I think I only got, I picked up 2 cases, and I think I only got 2 Harbingers, so.
Yeah, I'll have to check. It seems like I've got a lot of war drivers and a lot of magic.
Yeah, I do well with Amazon magic on the Tabletopia tournament.
Okay. We're down to this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 kickers left. We have another nightmare, so that's 4. 4 nightmares, 4 chimeras. Get out of there, Hydra. You are not a nightmare. I mean, to some people you might be if you're playing against them. Hey, There we go. There's another war chief.
And if they pull a whole bunch of hydras, that can be a nightmare.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So we've got 4 nightmares, 4 chimeras. Now we're at pro numbers.
All right. Yeah, you're getting the pro numbers. That's it. When my
here we go.
my next Kickstarter comes in, you're opening mine.
That's okay. We just hit our 5th nightmare. Nightmare number 5. Ore drivers on a Kukri charge are awesome with 2 faces of trample. I'll never forget watching not you but the other Scott play Amazons for the championships. Oh my gosh, with the 4.0 rules, that was so devastating.
It was. That's why we toned it back a little bit.
I mean, rightly so. It was just insane. I mean, it's cool that now this is a faction that requires something like the miners in order to really function. Medusa, Javelineer. Got 2 left. And then we can get on to the big announcement spoiler of the next Kickstarter for SFR and what's to come. Oh, this is fantastic. Let me refocus. Oh, camera's there. We go. The camera's having a hard time.
Nightmare?
Yep, we're up to 6 nightmares. 6 nightmares, 4 chimeras, and another 3-point mage. Oh, we got plenty of spoilers. We got all the spoilers here. Mind you, what people can't see on camera is I've got a pile. I gotta pick up trash later. My trash bin is overflowing at my desk. It's overflowing with cellophane.
And boxes.
Yup. Alright, what do we have in this one? A Centaur. So, we petered out with a Centaur.
Andrew, if you want to get rid of those battle map boxes, I'll pay you for postage to send them out here.
The boxes?
Because I don't have one of each. Yeah.
Oh,
if they're
okay.
not all squashed, yeah.
No, they're not all squashed. I'll just have to retrieve one of them. That's all. No, that's fine. I can take care of that. So we did... So let's talk about the ratios. 24 kickers. We got 6 nightmares and 4 chimeras. I mean...
That's what, 25% for the nightmares? So you're 10% above the curve for that.
Wow. And then the chimeras, you said that was 10%.
That's 10%, yeah.
So I should only have 2 by those numbers for 2 cases.
Yeah. 2 point something.
Yeah.
Cliff would better be able to tell you the exact numbers you should have.
All right, JT, you have a good evening. Thanks for stopping by. But yeah, this is I'm happy with this poll. I'm happy with this right here. This makes it. And then I know for a fact I got my 2nd war chief, so I'm happy with that now. I was getting a little concerned I was gonna have like no I was concerned I was gonna only have like 1 war chief. Thankfully I do have an original war chief as well, so let me put the cap on this hobby knife before I cut myself. But yeah, that's just whew. Well, let's talk about the new Kickstarter. Now, for anyone, let me pull up the link. I gotta find that link first. Probably should have had this preloaded. Where's the Dragon Dice? Nope. Dragon Dice. Problem is I have to go through a couple of things in order to get to it. Alright, Kickstarter. And let's go here. And then... No, that's not what I wanted. I guess I probably should have figured this out earlier, but I didn't. So we're doing this a little on the fly here. Display capture. I'll just do it as a display capture add source. About to have some Inception. Alright, so let's put this in here. Alright. So, for anyone who was part of the Kickstarter, should have gotten a nice little QR code on their receipt. And if you follow that receipt, or follow the QR code on that receipt, if you haven't already thrown it out, there is a preview page for the Frostwings Kickstarter. Now let's go through this here while we're while we've got you on the horn. So we've got a nice little video here by Cardboard Harold for the Frostwings. He always does fantastic work. How to play, 4.0 rules, and then the what is the kicker. And I love this. I love this new artwork. This new artwork is fantastic. I absolutely love this.
Yeah, shout out to I have to give a shout out to Jeremy McHugh. He's the one that
Jeremy
does
McHugh.
our kicker artwork.
I love his artwork.
Does a fantastic job.
It's absolutely gorgeous. The only thing that needs to be done is we need to get him to do artwork for the tree folk, so that way they all look kind of uniform.
Maybe in a couple of years.
Let's see, which ones are we? It's the tree folk, and unfortunately, we're never going to run out of firewalkers, so that's going to be a while before we can get him to do artwork for that one.
Probably.
We're not going to run out of firewalkers for a long time, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that was a little bit overproduced back then. So we're still, you know, on the web store, we're still selling the TSR boxes. So.
Yeah. I believe it. All right, so let's look at our pledge levels. We've got the Yeti, which is $26, comes with 3 kickers, plus all stretch goals. The Wolf Pack, that's your 6 kickers with the stretch goals for $49. Cryo Hydra for $90, 12. That's your 1 case plus stretch goals. The Remoraz, which gets you a set of alt ink, 1 of each, which also includes, everyone, a Frost Ogre. That's a big one.
Yep, that is the 1 in 40 rarity monster.
That is your super rare. That is your Enseelie Fairy. That is your Oromir. So, and then we've got the Frost Ogre. You'll take 10. The Frost Ogre pledge level, which is 2 cases for $175. And then we have the Magi, and this is the one that I will be backing at. The 220 level. You get a case of Frostwings, and you get 1 of every alt ink, including the Frost Ogre. So that's the money. That's the big one right there that I will definitely be coming in at. And then we have our add-ons. You get standard fare just like before. The different sets of alt inks, including the massive one with the Frost Ogre. Let's see. Oh, now here's a big one. The Dragon Hunter Anniversary set. Are these oh, these are new, right? The Dragon Hunters?
Yes.
Because we have the Dragon Lords from this Kickstarter.
Yep, the Dragon Lords and Masters were during the Amazons, and now we're working on getting these done for the Frostwings.
Yep, because then we got the Dragon Slayer Anniversary die, Elemental Relic Anniversary die, the starter, which I recommend anyone get because it's basically the price of 4 kickers, and you get free terrain and dragons in your starter box. Absolutely worth it, 100%. Kickers for the following: Coral Elves, Lava Elves once unlocked, Goblins once unlocked, and Dwarves once unlocked. We'll get there in a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, as to that, because that's down in the rewards section. So we've got
Special rewards.
Yes, the special rewards, the pledge level rewards. Once it's backed, things start unlocking. So 4.01 rules. Hardbound 20, softcore 12. Now this is interesting. You're doing soft covers now.
Yes, we're gonna. I mean, one of the things, people were kind of reticent to put down $20. So this was they were like, well, can you make a soft cover one? So we listened to that and decided to offer. Yeah, I mean, it's the same content, except it's just a little less expensive.
I never saw the people asking for the soft covers, but that's still pretty cool to see. So awesome. I completely missed that. And then of course for the cards, we've got the spell cards, which we got last time, army cards, which are neat for people who don't have the play mats. Abilities and effects. That's the one that we just got. And then for the expansions, the Eldarim, which at some point I need to get into, Dragonkin, the Dragon Hunter, Dragon Slayer, Dragon Master, Dragon Lord set, Crusader and Zealot, Dragon Crusader and Dragon Zealot set, battlefields. I need more battlefields. Deadlands Minor Terrain. Now, while we're here at the battlefields expansion and Deadlands Minor Terrain, I do want to address the one thing here to everybody that's watching. If you backed the Amazon kickers, it will be coming eventually, and you can, and if you want to, you can reiterate it a little more detail. But because of the rules change with the Amazons needing minor terrain now, if you backed and got Amazons, you will get minor terrain. Because I got 2 cases, I should be getting 8.
Yep, we're sending out now that the we'll give the shipping department a little time to rest.
Mm-hmm.
But for every 3 Amazons that you got through the Kickstarter, we're going to be including 1 random minor.
Okay.
No Deadlands, though.
No Deadlands. Okay. I need some more Scalders, Feyland. I need more Feyland miners.
If your Amazon pulls are any indication, you'll get them.
The hybrid dragon set. I am lacking in hybrid dragons. I need hybrid dragons badly. Let's see. Yeah, the shipping department did a lot of awesome work. I cannot stress that enough.
Yes,
they
did.
A lot of props needs to go to the people who packed, packaged, sorted everything. Absolutely 100%. Single player mats, $19. 2 player mats, $38. Those are awesome. 2 player mat when available, available when unlocked. This is awesome. I am absolutely in love with this because now we get into the stretch goals. So your project funded is 16. So that's that's in line with previous, I believe. So that's
Yes.
probably right on the money. So free random small alt ink frostwing. Yep, that's about on par with what we've gotten before. Goblins available as add-ons. All right, so this is where a lot of where those what I said we'd come to after with the add-ons. So for anyone that's not aware, currently goblins, dwarves, and lava elves. Coral elves hasn't gotten there yet, but they are currently out of stock and out of print. So once you get to a certain point, you'll be able to unlock the goblins, and they'll be reprinted. So we'll get a fresh print run of goblins. So that'll be awesome. Same thing with down the line for lava elves and dwarves. 2-player air mat available as add-on. I'm definitely going to need to get one of those. I love that. That is absolutely phenomenal. Free random medium alt ink frostwing unit. Dwarves available. There we go. The fire mat. Free random large alt ink frostwing unit. Large lava elves available as add-ons. Now the question is, will there be any misprinted Crusaders?
We hope not. The Conquerors and
or the Conquerors,
no,
yes.
We hope not. We really hope not. Because they did fix the mold when it was discovered. So that's why there's so few. I know everybody was, hunting around trying to get those errors. Which is one of the reasons Lava Elves went out of print so fast.
Sure, because everyone was buying them up.
Trying to get the errors.
Yeah.
But the mold has been fixed, so.
Okay. So nobody has to go and freak out and try and rush to the line to get in line for those for the misprints.
I'm not saying they shouldn't.
Sure. I'm just saying, like, they're not gonna be. They don't have to worry about hunting for the.
They shouldn't expect. Yes. They shouldn't expect an error in this run.
But isn't that the mystery, though? Is opening it up and finding it?
Yeah, that's always enjoyable, but
it's not something that you want to see as an error because that leads to other issues. But it's still fun.
As a company man, no. But as a collector, yes. I would love to see it.
2-player deathmat available as add-ons. 1 free monster alt ink frostwing unit, Cryohydra, Remoraz Yeti, or Wolfpack only. Makes sense because I believe even the Swampstalker one you couldn't get an Oromir as the freebie.
Yeah, because that was similar ratio with the
Now speaking of that,
as the Frostwings.
Was this about the same for the Swampstalkers, or is it a little bit more? 150. I can't remember.
It's a little bit higher than the. I believe the
Swampstalker one was like what, 125?
I believe.
Or was it like 1?
I believe it was Swampstalkers might have been 1 for the 100 for the monsters, but.
Okay.
And some of the reason we upped is right now we're sitting on about 8,762,012 Mudmen.
Oh no!
Because in order to do an alt ink run, you have to do the entire mold.
Yup.
And
there's several iterations.
Everybody that ordered a full set of monsters. For every full set, you're talking. You've got 35 random dice that are just sitting there.
Sure. For every Mudmen alt ink with every Swamp Stalker kicker, eh? I don't know about that, Dolus.
It may come down to that. Poor Cliff over at the shipping department is up to his eyeballs in mud, man.
25th anniversary Dragon Slayer die, free to Frost Ogre and Magi tiers only. Dragon Slayer, that wasn't this current run, was it? Because that was the Dragon Lord.
No, that. Yep, the Dragon Slayer is the second of the Elder Room champion.
Okay. And then this I am very much excited for, the Frostwings poster. I am very much looking forward to that by Jeremy McHugh, signed as well. So definitely looking forward to that. I don't know if he's looking forward to signing that many. His wrist is probably going to be hurting after that, I imagine.
Yeah, he's an artist. You know, he does a lot with his hands. So
fair.
Unlike poor Lester, who did most of his writing on the computer, he had to sign all of the air mats back in the Swamp Store.
Yep. 25th anniversary Hunter set of 5, free to Frost Ogre and Magi tiers. And then the all-new, here we go, this is the big one, the all-new Relic die. So, everyone who remembers, there was a bunch of blank space on that page that I was showing off with the Relic die in the book. So this right here, as the final installment, at least that we can see, final installment of Pledge Rewards, means we get an all-new Relic die.
Correct. And in order to find out what it does, you'll just have to back and hit our goal.
Yep, absolutely. Well, that's what it means, Dolus. That's what it means. It means we gotta put in on it and get that going. Take my money. So one last thing. It's one of our biggest mistakes. Okay, so last thing I want to talk about, because it has been talked about on the
social media channels.
Yes, the social media channels. One of the biggest things that's changing with the Frostwings is the Magi was the not the ultra rare. It's basically the super rare one. The next rarest from the Frost Ogre. One of the hardest 3-pointers to get, along with the Inferno, the Infernal. And you're making the adjustment here due to player feedback. If we reach funded status, not only will Frostwings be available once more, but one of the biggest missteps taken by TSR will be corrected. That's right, once the project is funded, we will be remaking the large unit mold, thereby making the Magi one of the most useful units from this species more readily available. Now, this has been contended. It's a topic of quite controversy, but I wanted to get your take on it. Can you take us through the process behind the scenes with everybody at SFR? What were some of the discussions about this and that led to you guys coming to this conclusion?
It was long. What happened is, I mean, I've been doing a lot of the research for the Dragon Dice histories over the years.
Sure.
And one of the biggest complaints, again, was the fact that one of the most useful dice for that particular species, a little bit more so back then, is the Magi, because you're losing out on a lot of magic. You've got the cantrips and you've got the regular magic. And a lot of people were complaining that the people that had the money to spend
sure
having an unfair advantage.
Sure.
And over the years, there's been a lot of feedback. Well, Magi's, we can't get the Magi, we can't get the Magi, and so we decided essentially that we were going to flatten the rarity on those.
Sure.
One of the reasons being is that the rarity of those particular dice, the Magi and the Inferno, because of their usefulness within the game, it was keeping a lot of casual players from jumping in.
Sure.
And over the years, Dragon Dice has sort of had a niche market.
Sure.
I mean, we've got some very passionate players, but a lot of people were scared by that particular rarity distribution.
Sure.
And it was decided that we need to fix this to bring in the casual players, to try to bring Dragon Dice back into the mainstream, back more of the prominence that it had back in the mid 90s.
Sure. Trying to bring in a new crowd.
Yeah, because we can't you can't subsist as a company with an existing base. You have to grow. And we knew it was going to be contentious.
Sure.
People were saying, well, now I spent all this money to get the Magi, and now it's not worth anything. I mean, the unfortunate thing is, as a collector, I can understand that mindset, but the long and short of it is, I needed to take that view from a company stance, in that, without new blood in the game, without bringing in new players,
it's going to stagnate.
We're not going to grow. It's going to stagnate. And at some point, everybody who is currently playing is going to reach their saturation point.
Mm-hmm.
They're not need to buy any more dice.
Yep.
So by making such a useful unit more accessible to a casual player or a new player, we're hoping to grow our player base, which will be beneficial in the long run.
Sure.
And the sad, the thing with people that complain, oh well, I spent all this money, I bought a Magi, blah blah blah, for $100. Well, I mean, that's
as a company, you're not in control of the secondhand market. That's the big issue.
Exactly. We're not seeing any of that money that changed hands from the secondary market.
Yeah.
And I feel bad that you paid $100 for something that's going to be readily available now.
Yeah.
But we have to do what is best long term for SFR.
Yeah.
And by bringing in new players, that gives us long term growth potential.
Yeah. It's. I definitely can see both sides of the coin on this one, and I definitely agree that something needs to be done. The biggest compromise that I can see is that you're only doing it to the 3-pointers, and not the rarity for the Frost Ogre. So at least the collectors do have something to chase.
Exactly. That was part of the discussion, is that they've still got something that's hard to get, that has bragging rights, but it's not nearly as useful in the game as the Magi.
No, Iceman. The way that it's being done in the molds, they're all equal rarity. The other 3-point dice will not be more rare because they're redoing the molds to make them all equal level.
There are 35 cavities within a mold, so within each of those, you're going to have an equal distribution. Or actually, no, I think there might be. Yeah, there's 35 in the large, or 70. Mm-hmm. 70 in the large. So they're going to be evenly distributed between the 5 large units. There's going to be no more stepped rarity like with the Chimera and the Nightmare. You had a 10% and a 15%
Yep.
chance. With the Frostwings, that was originally the case. There was a 2 in 70 chance of pulling a Magi.
That's crazy. So one in 45?
1 in 30, 1 in 35.
35.
So basically, you would have to buy essentially 3 cases if you're right at the mean average. You would have to buy just about 3 cases to find a Magi. And that was something that's been complained. That was part of the downfall of Dragon Dice for TSR.
Sure.
That was almost like one of the final nails in the coffin.
It also didn't help that when they canceled it, a lot of it got pulled from the stores.
Yes.
That didn't help either.
When Wizards of the Coast took it over, they basically stopped supporting the entire game, and everything was sent back, and hundreds of kickers, mostly Frostwings, but more so Scalders, ended up in a landfill somewhere. So that's one of the reasons everybody who's an old-time collector always looks for the TSR Unseelie Fairy.
Sure.
Because nobody knows how many survived before they went to the landfill.
Okay.
Billy, you're right. That was one of the reasons that they killed it from the right from the gate, because they didn't want to compete with that unmentionable card game. But and when the Ormir came out, that had the 1 in 40, anywhere from 1 in 40 to 1 in 60 rarity.
But it was only the Ormir, though, right? They didn't do that to the 3-pointers.
Correct. But Swampstalker sold well because, first of all, it became the most powerful species within the game because of their mutation pool.
Yep.
You could bring, initially when they came out, you could bring more dice to the table than your starting army consisted of.
Sure.
So you could conceivably, in a 36-point game, you could have like 48 points.
That's just crazy.
Units at the table. So everybody wanted it for that.
That's just crazy.
But the complaints started when that happened because nobody was pulling Ormirs because of that rarity. TSR didn't see that. They just saw, hey, Swampstalkers are flying off the shelves, not because of the rarity issue, but because of the power creep that was inherent in the game at that point. And their rationale behind that was, well, if we've got one rare die and the Swampstalkers are flying off the shelves, let's do 2 rare dice. They didn't see
the power creep. They just saw the rarity and thought that was the driving force between
exactly
that was driving the sales.
Exactly. It was definitely a marketing misstep. And that's the complaints started to get really vociferous on the forums and that. But by that time, Scalders was already in the pipe, so there was no way to change the rarities for the Inferno.
Yep.
So that continued that trend of a 1 in 35 rarity.
Yeah.
But for all the collectors, we apologize, and we're sorry to hear that you're not happy. But what it boils down to is we need to do what's best for SFR as a company, and we all felt that was the best step to take.
Oh,
there were some suggestions for alternatives, like changing one face, or but then there's a whole bunch of logistical problems that go along with that
yeah.
weren't ideal.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how things pan out. I know I'll be backing at the highest possible one, the big one. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I don't own much in terms of Frostwings. My dad owns the most out of the Frostwings for both of us. He's got an original TSR Frost Ogre, so
Good for him. There's not many out there.
nope.
If you are going to back at the higher tiers with the alternate inks, back early, because we're trying to keep a lid on the amount of excess dice that we have.
Oh, you've only got 20
So,
spots.
Right now, we're limiting those spots to 20 at the alt ink set, and then 20 at the highest, to try to limit the number of excess alt inks we have.
Okay.
Because we still have alt inks from the initial alt ink run for that was done in before SFR
Sure.
2.0, way back when the original yellow inks came out. We still would. you can get a couple of those with Christopher Schmidt's books if anybody wants one.
Yep. Well, there's not even a guarantee that they're going to be the same color, too.
Yes. The old paperwork just said yellow ink. There was no designated Pantone color, so there's no guarantees that it'll be the same shade. So that there'll still be something for collectors to chase.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to this. I definitely will be getting in at that Magi tier for sure. Definitely looking forward to that.
And we're launching on April 2nd.
Okay, so we got. Let's see. 1, 2, 7, 14, 15 days. 15 days to technically 45 to save up your money. Because 30 days after the campaign opens. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so make sure you file for your tax refunds early.
Yeah, I filed early, so I made sure. Make sure you filed. If you've got any stimulus money coming, I mean, definitely. I'll definitely be backing for sure. Using a little something for this.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Hopefully we'll have a little more details as we get closer. It's I still have to update some of the graphics. There's no pictures on some of those, but we'll get those up there. And follow us on social media, because we're actually going to be doing something for backers that are also a member of our social media pages, that a lot of the hardcore collectors are really going to be interested in. We're going to be giving away an actual mold face from the old TSR promotional dice, like the Dragon Slayers, Dragon Hunters, etc.
Okay.
We have an actual one of the old mold faces from TSR. So for all the hardcore collectors, that's something, the higher you back or add to via add-ons, the more chances you get to try and win a face.
Yeah, that would be sweet. That would be a great piece of history. Great piece of history to have. But no,
so my only regret is like I'm not eligible.
The one time you have to kind of step away from a cool collector's piece.
Yep.
I imagine that would go in your little jewel box of all the protos, the etchings of those zealots, or the crusaders, or what?
That would go in a nice little box of its own.
Oh, okay.
You know, like little velvet lined box. You know.
Mm-hmm. So Gumball Machine for the next live Gen Con will be all Mudmen. That's funny.
There might be a swamp beast or two.
See, the Gumball Machine I need for the pink ferals, because I need pink ferals. I need a set of those.
Well, start playing Gen Con tournaments.
It's hard when you're running them. It's hard to when you run them.
Very true. Very true.
That's my issue, is because I'm working them.
Yeah, I hear you.
But no, thank you. I want to say thank you very much for coming on. For anyone who is interested in what we just opened today, and this Kickstarter here, definitely please go check out. If you go exclamation point support in the Twitch chat, that will bring up the website URL for Dragon Dice, their main web page, and there should be links there to all their social media as well, on their web page. I think that pretty much covers everything. So I think we're good.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on and doing this. This has been awesome.
Oh, and
you got anything else to plug? Go for it.
Well, I was just going to say that the next time you're out of the house for a couple of hours, let me know, because I might need some of those nightmares.
We'll see. Maybe you might be able to catch some nightmares in your dreams, but I don't know. I don't know.
All right, Andrew. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for coming on, D. Scott. Have a good evening.
And you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining in, everybody. Hope to see you on our social media pages. If you have any questions, we, the SFR staff would be happy to answer them. We don't usually bite unless you ask nicely.
All right. Thank you, everyone. That's going to be it for us tonight. If you liked what you saw and you want to watch more of what I do, please don't hesitate to drop a follow, and make sure those notifications on. And we will be live next time, probably with some more retro PC gaming. And have a good evening, everyone. Thank you, and good night.